what's going on out there? I'm Sean Devine. Hope you all are doing well. Today I've got a new video where we're going to talk about how to successfully sell your music online. So a lot of you are on this channel learning about mixing and mastering, production. You're getting your songs ready and you want to know, how do I get it out to the world? So we're going to talk about a couple of key concepts. And for those of you who are not familiar with the channel, we're going to talk a little bit about mixing and mastering first. And if you need some help learning how to do that, obviously there's tons of videos on the channel to help you get that sound that you need. So let's jump into the first key aspect of selling your music online and being successful at it is you've got to have great quality music. So obviously you have to have a great song, but beyond that, your quality has to be very professional. And you hear me use the word compete on this channel when I'm talking about mixing and mastering. And what I mean by that is a lot of people are scrolling through their Spotify playlists, Apple Music, Google Play, and they're going through things really quickly. So they're just kind of bouncing around songs. And if someone turns your song on and your song is quieter, it's not as professional of a mix, maybe the mastering wasn't done properly, any of these aspects, the listener doesn't necessarily know what those processes are, but they're not stupid. And when they hear a inferior quality track in terms of the mixing and the mastering or even the production, they're not going to take you as seriously. So you want to make sure that as it's playing alongside these other commercially viable records, that it competes. So make sure that you're either watching content on channels like this to learn how to get that professional sound in your mixing and mastering, or you've developed a relationship with a mixing and mastering engineer who's going to take your songs to that professional quality level. Let's talk about the second key way that you're going to successfully sell your music online, and that is to choose the best distribution service. So a distribution service is simply how you're going to get your music out to the world and make it available on all these different digital media platforms like Apple Music, like Spotify, like Amazon, Google Play. You want your listeners to be able to find your music. You want them to be able to preview and listen to your music. And then ultimately you want them to be able to download, buy, and stream your music. So right now I'm looking at DistroKid, which is where I released my album late last year. I've used a lot of different distribution services over the years, whether it's with other artists or my own material, and I was extremely impressed with the overall experience with DistroKid. It's got some great features we're going to talk about in just a minute, and it's also extremely easy to use and puts the power in your hands. You are the label. Tools that labels have been using to distribute music are now at our fingertips as independent artists and musicians, which is really cool and probably, in my opinion, one of the most exciting advancements in terms of the music industry that we've had really in the past decade. So I want to show you how DistroKid works. Very, very intuitive platform here. So let's just say we've got a single, just got it back for mixing and mastering, it's ready to go out to the world. All I need to do is log into my DistroKid account, and I have an annual account. So this is another thing that's cool, and it's different than a lot of the other distribution platforms, is that rather than paying per release, which can get really expensive, DistroKid has annual plans. So you pay a one-time fee and I can upload as much music and have as many releases as I want, and that's not going to change. That's that one-time annual fee. So I like the way that that's structured. But once we've logged in, we're going to go over here. We're going to upload my single so we can select our stores that are available to us here. And then we're going to do one song. I'm already in iTunes and Spotify, so DistroKid will automatically make sure my release appears alongside those other projects. And we're going to set a release date to, let's do April 1st, which is April Fool's Day. And we're going to make it available for pre-order, another good feature. And let's just say that we're going to let people pre-order it immediately today. So then we've got our record label. We can upload our album cover, and then we're going to select our genres. Let's just say hip hop and jazz. And my song is called April Fool's Day. And I did write the song. I'm going to say it doesn't have explicit lyrics. We can set our price, so we'll leave that at 99 cents. And then we're going to upload our audio file. You can even upload an MP3 if you wanted to, although I wouldn't recommend it. I would definitely recommend uploading your high quality mixed and mastered WAV file. And then we've got some extras here. And one of the cool extras that I like that DistroKid has available for you is called Leave a Legacy. Once you've paid this, DistroKid will ensure that this song or this album stays available on all the digital platforms forever. So then you're just going to select done, put it in the system. So once it's done, it's going to go through a really quick process of being approved by the DistroKid team, and then they deliver it to the stores automatically. So it goes out to all those stores at the same time, and it's going to make sure that your release date is set for that date that you have on your upload. Now, some other cool things about DistroKid, you can put in your lyrics for all your songs. And once you do this, it will deliver this to all the streaming services so that your listeners can have those available to them. They're also implementing credits now, which DistroKid has been kind of a pioneer in doing this as far as the distribution services go. And so you can select songwriters, producers, engineers, whoever was involved in your project. And then they're now slowly starting to incorporate these into streaming so that your listeners can see all that stuff. Very, very cool. And another thing that I want to point out is you have what's called teams with DistroKid. So if we go up here and we click teams, your producer, get them on board, your songwriters, if they're all on DistroKid, it will automatically have automated payments set up for all your releases. So your producers can get paid, anybody that you have collaborations with. It's very, very easy to do this with DistroKid. There is a link in the description below that DistroKid has provided to give all of you all on the channel a discount. So if you're interested in that, I would highly suggest checking this out. So your music has been released to the world. It's available on all these different platforms now, but the work is not done. Now we've got to promote and market your music effectively. And I suggest going an organic route with this, which means trying to get your music presented by a lot of the blogs and tastemakers out there. So some of the sites that I like to discover new music in terms of the hip hop and urban space would be DJ Booth and Rapzilla. So you can check these out, and I would make a list and start to focus on certain ones, build some relationships with the people, the writers at these sites. And if you can get a feature, or maybe you just post it into the free download section for the week, it's going to put you in front of an audience that you wouldn't have been exposed to otherwise. And it's going to help propel your release forward a lot quicker and propel sales a lot more because you're going to have a lot more initial interest. Another thing I want to point out post-release is you've got to be on top of your social media. Now, I don't mean going on here and spamming your followers and saying, hey, my album's out, go buy it. The next week, hey, my album's out, go buy it. And just doing that over and over again. That's not effective. What you want to do is you want to spread your energies out. Maybe one week you post a video about the making of this album or this song. You do some behind the scenes footage, you get people involved in your creative process. Then maybe the next week you do a live Q&A about the project. Then maybe the next week you have the video for your lead single. So you're just spacing out content that's based around the project, and it's going to bring your listeners in, get them excited about it, and keep them excited about it. While we are in the age of releasing a lot of music, you want to keep your listeners engaged in that project as long as possible. Keep that momentum moving forward. The last tip I have for you all to successfully sell your music online is to seek out music placements. Now, this is one that's a little less obvious, maybe some of you haven't considered yet. All a placement is getting your music in, say, a film soundtrack, a commercial, a marketing campaign, or it could even be just getting it onto a YouTube channel. Maybe the channel has a lot of followers and they use it as background music and give you credit. And these things are going to, one, direct a lot of attention to your music, which is going to lead to sales through all of the digital platforms we talked about. And it's also going to give you an opportunity to generate what's called performance royalties. So if you're a member of some of the PROs like ASCAP, BMI, CSAC, and if you're looking to get those quarterly checks from your PRO, that's the way to do it, is to really focus on getting these bigger placements. Now, how do you get placements? Remember this title, and that's music supervisor. These are the people who oversee how a lot of the music is placed and what music is placed in various projects. They're aware of some of the projects that are going to be coming across their desk, what music's going to be needed. And if you are in their portfolio of people to reach out to, you're going to have an opportunity to get your music placed quite frequently. Now, how do you connect with a music supervisor? Obviously, the best way is to generate an authentic relationship. You brush shoulders with them if you're in a big media market like New York, Atlanta, Nashville, Los Angeles. But let's say you're not there. You can, of course, utilize the internet and your social media. So you can go on Twitter, search music supervisors. Another one that I really recommend would be to utilize your LinkedIn profile. Start looking up people for projects that maybe you want to get involved in. Maybe there's certain brands and things that you would like to contribute for advertising or whatever else it may be. Use Facebook, do some research on people, but remember music supervisor, because if you can connect with them, it's definitely going to jumpstart a lot of those placements for you. One thing to mention with this is, again, you want to create authentic relationships. There's a right and a wrong way to reach out to these people, and if you're just spamming them, they're not going to want to help you. And I have a video on mentorship that is closely related to this in terms of how to effectively connect and communicate with people who are potentially going to help you. All right, y'all, so those are a few of my top tips for how to successfully sell your music online. Obviously, we have some amazing tools available to us in terms of the technology to get professional sound out of your laptop in your home studio. We talk about the mixing and the mastering and the production a lot on this channel. Feel free to go through some of the videos. But beyond that, we live in a revolutionary time of distribution. You are your own label. No longer do we have these gatekeepers deciding what is being released on Apple Music, on Spotify, on Google Play, wherever. Using something like DistroKid, you can not only get your music out there, you can monitor your sales, and you can really track things down to a T in terms of how your music is succeeding in the marketplace. Beyond that, we have the internet to connect and get in touch with tastemakers so that your music can be collected into some of these lists and being exposed to an audience that you wouldn't normally tap into. One other thing, again, we pointed out is that music placements are going to help you generate that revenue for performance royalties that a lot of you have been looking for in your music. So I hope this video has been helpful. If you have any questions about selling your music online, feel free to leave a comment below. If you learned anything in the video, please like, subscribe, and consider sharing, and we'll talk to you soon.
Gotta hope it's not the same when we get older. This pain got me feeling like I can't even go home. It's harder to cope if I'm sober. Try to forgive my name, I'm not the same.